From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, April 19th, 2016. Silver is trading at $16.89 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,251 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $433. Antiwar.com reports after days of loudly condemning the Syrian military for an offensive against al-Qaeda-controlled territory south of the city of Aleppo, the Syrian rebel negotiating team in Geneva has withdrawn from the UN-brokered peace talks. Officials are representing this as simply a postponement of the talks and say that the rebel negotiators will remain in Geneva for now, with the possibility of returning to the talks, though top negotiator Mohammed Aloush insisted there was no way they'd return. The U.S. and Russia brokered ceasefire deal explicitly excluded both the Islamic State and al-Qaeda's Nusra Front to allow the ceasefire parties to continue offensives against those factions. Nusra, however, has close ties to several rebel factions, and those rebels are treating attacks on Nusra as attacks on the rebellion. The U.S. appears to be endorsing the rebels' decision to withdraw from the talks, demanding that Russia use its influence to stop Syria's ongoing offensive against Nusra territory. Other Western diplomats, however, warn that if the talks collapse over the weekend, the rebels will be blamed. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Carnival Cruise Lines announced Monday it will postpone its first cruise to Havana in 50 years if Cuba does not allow those born on the island to return by sea. The week-long cruise aboard the 704-passenger ship Adonia is scheduled to leave Miami for Havana on May 1st. Carnival announced Monday it will accept bookings on its Fathom line from all travelers to Cuba if the rule is suspended. The long-standing but little-known rule prohibiting exiled Cubans from returning to the island has stirred protests since Carnival announced the first sailing last month. Before Monday's announcement, Francisco May, along with fellow traveler Amparo Sanchez, filed a class action suit against Carnival, alleging that the company is violating his federal civil rights and discriminating against Cubans by denying them tickets. May, who is a platinum VIP in the company's rewards program, was shocked when he was told by a company representative that he could not go on the trip because he was born in Cuba. May's attorney, Robert Rodriguez, planned to file an emergency motion on Monday seeking an immediate hearing. During a visit to Miami last week, Secretary of State John Kerry called on Cuba to end the ban. The Daily Decrypt is a Monday through Friday newscast about all the best news in cryptocurrencies and peer-to-peer networks. Know what's hot in the world of digital money, borderless trade, and cutting-edge communications. Available on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Facebook video. The Daily Decrypt is the news of the future. Reuters reports the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday declined to hear a challenge by a group of authors who contend that Google's massive effort to scan millions of books for an online library violates copyright law. The Authors Guild and several individual writers have argued that the project, known as Google Books, illegally deprives them of revenue. The High Court left in place an October 2015 ruling by the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New York in favor of Google. A unanimous three-judge appeals court panel said the case tests the boundaries of fair use, but found Google's practices were ultimately allowed under the law. The individual plaintiffs who filed the proposed class action against Google included former New York Yankees pitcher Jason Button, who wrote the acclaimed memoir Ball 4. Several prominent writers, including novelist and poet Margaret Atwood and lyricist and composer Stephen Sondheim, signed on to a friend of the court brief backing the Authors Guild. The authors sued Google, whose parent company is Alphabet Incorporated, in 2005, a year after the project was launched. A lower court dismissed the litigation in 2013, prompting the authors' appeal. Google argued that the effort would actually boost book sales by making it easier for readers to find works while introducing them to books they might not otherwise have seen. According to court papers, the company made digital copies of more than 20 million books. Some publishers agreed to allow Google to copy their works. Google Books allows users to search the contents of a book and displays excerpts that show the relevant search results. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.